Good morning, folks. Hope you're doing well on a snowy, cold Thursday morning. But I thought I would get on here for just a minute and give you a few updates on some things happening. Several people have said that they appreciate these updates and videos. Never my intent to be on here this much, but if we can get the word out and let people know what's going on, it might be worth it. But I do appreciate everybody's feedback, positive or negative, on these things. Um, Many people have said uh, some things about FEMA and the North Carolina Emergency Management and all the things that we've been had going on in the county response and all. And I understand frustration and how a lot of things are not going according to plan. They're not going according to my plan either. And we have been in conversation with every elected official and with all the organizations and everything trying to advocate for Avery County. And we think we've been making some progress. Just to give you a quick update on a few numbers, through the individual assistance, which is the FEMA portal for private citizens going to get assistance. As of the, let's see, 14th, I guess, is this last information that I've got here. There was almost $13 million, $12,907,000 that were paid out through individual assistance. There was about 4,200 registrations of individuals that have applied, and of that, there's broken down into a lot of other needs and how it was paid out for services, cleaning, and almost 1.3 million of that was paid out for roads and bridges. So I know there's a lot of concern about the roads and bridges. And I do have one piece of good news for you. Just yesterday, I was in a meeting and we had some guidance from FEMA that there is some movement on the front that we've been asking for some time, and that is the easing of some of the restrictions on engineered bridge bills. You may have heard of no-rise certifications, which bridges had to meet, and the engineering costs were tremendous. And as of yesterday, in the meeting we were in, those restrictions have been eased, making it easier for the inspections department to issue permits. Now, bridges and culverts and that type of thing still need to be permitted, and they still need to be engineered. The bridges that are being done, and but this is it gives us a lot better opportunity to get those done. So I would encourage you, if you have any questions, contact the inspections department, and those folks will be able to guide you through this. But this is a huge step as the nonprofit groups and all of the people who are interested have opportunity to provide access to a lot of the properties that have not been. Now, the missing part of that is the funding to go along with it. We're still waiting for the release of some additional funding. Of course, they have paid out some to the individual assistance, but the public assistance money, we're still not waiting to see how that might be done. And some of the other appropriations that have come from the General Assembly have still not been released, so we're waiting on that. But this is a positive step, and we hope that it will let people get back in their homes a little quicker and easier. So that's a good thing. As we move through the different processes, I'm sure you have been aware of the debris problem that we've been having. As you know, February 23rd, coming up on us rapidly, is the last day to put materials out on the right-of-way. The folks will be coming along for about the next month to 6 weeks, picking that material up. So after the 23rd, if you have debris, that needs to be taken to the landfill on Brushy Creek. So we hope that everybody will be a part of that process. There's been well over 500,000 cubic yards of debris that's been picked up and worked through the consolidation sites, and will continue to do so. The next aspect is waterway debris removal. That's the next phase that these things, we have to work in this process because that's how the FEMA funding works. And we have a contractor that had been used to start the waterway cleanup. And this is items that are in the creeks and waterways, vegetation, in other words. Several folks have talked about the Army Corps of Engineers coming in. We had to make a decision several months ago about how to move forward at that time, and we chose to go with the state-approved contractor. The Army Corps also uses contractors. They don't do the work themselves, but they use contractors as well, and we thought we had more control and be able to do it in a more efficient manner using this contractor. So that'll be moving forward. After that comes what we call PPDR, personal property debris removal. This will be items that are not in the waterway that still need to be cleaned up, and this will be a process. And for this, as you'll see some opportunities to register, each landowner along the path of the river has to sign off and give permission, and there has to be a packet of information that's approved for the folks to come along and be on your property. So be mindful of that as these folks come along. They're not trying to harm you in any way. It's just that we have to have permission and signed verification that this is your property, that you want somebody on it, and that you want these items cleaned up. So that will be the next process. And the fourth phase of this debris will come whenever the rivers and streams will start being remediated and the riverbeds returned and the banks built back. And many people thought this is a product of the Army Corps of Engineers. They will have a part, but the bulk of this work falls to the National Resource Conservation Service, NRCS, which is part of the USDA and used to be part of Soil and Water that we know it better by. But there's a plan to rebuild the rivers and move forward and try to get the river beds put back in place and the banks rebuilt. But this will be a long and arduous process and cannot be done until the debris is out of the way. So the river restoration, we're looking at years for this process. So we urge you to be patient as these things go along. It's not being ignored. But this is the process and pathway that we have to take because that's the way the funding streams work. And this is a multi-million-dollar project that we have to be careful that we're getting funding for because the county certainly cannot afford the tens of millions of dollars that this would involve. On the housing front, there are still many groups. The long-term recovery group is active through North Carolina VOAD, and these groups are working together to meet needs. A lot of things are being done. There's still registration has been extended for individual assistance to move forward with your FEMA application, which is the first step in anything. Even the nonprofits are going to ask you if you've registered yet with FEMA. So we urge you to do that, and that registration is still open at the Mayland Community College. So I hope that you'll take advantage of that. Housing is still a need. Many things are being done, and both in temporary and in permanent housing. And one of the folks from North Carolina Emergency Management said the mark of the housing moving forward is not how many FEMA units there may be placed, but how many people are not in distress. And so whether they're housed in temporary housing, whether they're in hotels, motels, or staying with someone else, or they're in a supplied housing unit for temporary purposes, those are all parts of this. And it is an ongoing process, and we are grateful for all the people who are participating in it. All in all, we have been moving in a pace that everybody wishes was faster, but unfortunately, this is the path that we have, and we've been assured that we're ahead of the game from many other counties, and so we're trying to push forward. And I know that finally that there's a lot of dissension and a lot of folks out there who doubt some of the things that we're putting out and what is being said here. All I can do is offer you the information that I know as I know it. Your acceptance or belief of it I cannot control that. And I hope that if you have any questions, you would contact someone rather than just assume that it's from a false source. I know authority is a bad word right now. A lot of changes, a lot of things happening, a lot of stuff in the political divide. And I told someone this week that we're not fighting that fight right now here in Avery County with the work it's done with this storm. I'm not interested in the political ramifications. I'm interested in getting people help and getting things working again and getting providing services and getting all those things done. So that's our focus right now. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll give you more information as it becomes available.